Hello guys, welcome back, I'm Soul, and today we're talking about the hunt for Wolverine. Or is it without the D? Well, hunt for Wolverine, weapon lost, number 2. So this is the first of the Hunt for Wolverine tie-ins that came out. So I don't know if they will maintain the order, but so far it is also the first one to get the second issue. This one is all about detective work. We have two good detectives in the Marvel universe. We have Misty Knight, that I hope we can see her in full metal arm action in the next season of Luke Cage. And we also have Frank McGee from the Inhumans, one of the recently created Inhumans that I really enjoy, even though his Inhuman powers are not really, let's say, bombastic. I mean, his powers are not something that could be too much exploited in a movie to gain reaction from the audience. But his character is so cool. I mean, I like him as a former police officer that is now a private security chief. And he is great, and they work very well together. And as Daredevil points out somewhere in the issue, that these two might work a little bit too much of well together, that something might be brewing up in there. So I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind to see Misty Knight, let's say, getting close to McGee. I really like this combination. Well, so this particular tie-in, this particular storyline is all about detective work, the mystery around a detective work. So it's a little hard to say. It's a little hard to say if this is good or bad in a way that could apply to everyone, because for this kind of stories, I do believe that it all comes down to whether the reader likes detective stories or not, because I know many people that believe or that find detective stories to be too slow for their liking. So if they see a movie where two-thirds of the movie is the main character, which is usually the detective, finding out the leads, following these leads, interrogating people, gathering the evidence, and coming to a conclusion and to try to determine who the culprit is, then so a lot of people are like, this is boring. The reason why this works in, for example, the Batman Arkham games is because you have all this detective work, but it's a lot of detective work done by the goddamn Batman, who is also Batman, doing great stuff and awesome stuff, so nobody gets boring in there. So, but there are a lot of people that usually love and enjoy and savor this kind of stories, taking every lead, and for them this might be great. So I'm gonna have to say that if you really like detective and mystery stories, you can enjoy a lot from this story from Weapon Lost. But if you find that kind of story slow, maybe you should skip this one, because this, at the very least, so far it doesn't have too much action. But I'm not trying to say that all the missing detective work is implemented perfectly. I mean, this is not a perfect detective story, because it doesn't have the room for it. You cannot explore that many leads and gather that many evidence and clues in 20 pages. So yeah, it's a little. Some parts are skipped, are just glossed over. But overall, I think it was anyway well done. I love that Cypher is in this. He is a great addition to the team, because we have the three great detectives working together, led by Daredevil, and then being supported by a tech expert, I'm gonna say, is usually awesome. And for these detectives that are so good, to have a tech expert as great as Cypher is basically the ideal situation for them. However, I am not a fan. I'm not too much of a fan of the current current status that they have given Cypher. I mean, he is in a very weakened state, and it seems that this state for him was designed for the plot. That's all I can say, because something happens in this issue that has to do with Cypher being so weak right now, that it made me feel like that was the whole reason for making him addicted to the internet. And I'm not saying like a millennial thing. I'm saying it like really, really addicted to the internet, like a drug, which in his case works well. But I don't know. I didn't really like that bit much, but it has to do with the cliffhanger, so I cannot say much. Let's hope that it gets resolved well. So overall, I'm gonna have to give this 3 PIs out of 5, because it is very entertaining. It's a good implementation of detective work, but it's nowhere near perfect. And so far, we haven't seen too many clues for the reader to follow the investigation along, just to see them just to see the characters follow said investigation. So, but out of all the Hunt for Wolverine tie-ins, this is one of the best ones, at least for me. I've been having a blast with it. Not so much with other ones. Let's say Claws of a Killer so far for me is the weakest one. But tell me, what do you think about them? Which is the one that you like the most? Which is the one that you think will get better? Do you like detective stories like this one? Comment down below and hit the like button if you want to see Wolverine soon somewhere. But we already know, thanks to the spoilers, that he will be back around August, September, because we cannot have surprises anymore in this world. But anyway, click the button if you want August to be soon, I guess. So thank you guys for watching, and I guess I'll see you the next time.